Well, here's another project, one of those green tractors. And I bought this thing yesterday and it cost 150 bucks. It's got a 14 horse Kawasaki and it has a broken hood. So I looked up the hood online and it costs $350 for a hood. Isn't that a joke? But on the bottom, the hinge on the pivots are broken off. It's going to be for my grandmother's house. She had a 1981 John Deere 111 and the rear axle broke. And I found this for 150. It's pretty much the same tractor, but just a little bit newer. So I figured that maybe this would suit her yard pretty well. And the price was right. I wish a Gravely would go over there, but I would need one with a 40-inch deck to fit in her shed, as the shed opening isn't wide enough to fit a 50-inch deck. So anyways, let's see what's under the hood. So it has this stupid Kawasaki on here. It's got an overhead valve engine, and I kind of hot wired it yesterday because the reason that this thing was so cheap is because the whole electrical system's messed up, and they got some idiots like pulled wires out and switches off and crap out of there, so who knows what's going on. So I rigged this little wire here off the bottom of the solenoid, and I can just hit the starter and it will spin. But the problem is that it has no spark. So I was doing a little bit of research, and this is a 14 horse Kawasaki. It's called a FC420V AS10. And you would think that you could go to Kawasaki's website, pull up a parts list, or you could go to, you know, like Jack Small Engines or some place where they have parts diagrams. Well, you can. And it has Kawasaki's. It has FC420Vs. But it goes AS1 through 9. Then it skips 10 and 11 and goes after that. And I'm pretty sure that John Deere told these guys to deep six the parts diagram so that people are forced to go to John Deere for the parts. Now, I'm sure that the parts are like the same exact thing as another model, but who knows? And the other thing that I think is funny about this is that they rebranded the Kawasaki and it says John Deere K Series 14 horse, as if they're trying to be a Kohler K Series, which I think is pretty comical. So I was doing a little reading online, and it has this ignition module over here on the side. They call it an igniter. And if you bought this part from John Deere, it costs $65. And you can buy an aftermarket module for like 15 bucks on Amazon. So what I'm actually going to do is take the blower housing off the machine and investigate the wires. And it's kind of like an old Briggs where you got a coil that used to have a wire going to points, but instead of going to points, it's going to this ignition module. I have an aftermarket ignition module in my garage from another project, a Megafire 2, I think it is. And just for shits and giggles, I was going to hook it up and see if it works. Oh, that's cool. There's like a dead fly on there. Look at that. Go fly fishing with that, huh? Anyways, this thing also has this stupid, whatchamacallit over here, one of those stupid solenoids on the carburetor, which I think are pretty retarded, but anyways. It's got an oil filter, which is kind of nice. I assume that it has a full pressure lubrication if it has an oil filter. It has a fuel pump up here mounted on the blower housing. It's got a fuel line that comes down here with a shut-off valve. Can't believe the battery's actually good. It's got these really nice tires on here. I don't know what they are. They say Turfmaster, Carlisle Turfmaster, but the tires and the battery are worth pretty much what we paid for this thing. And too bad the damn hood is broken, huh? That really sucks. But hey, what do you want? So I think that this solenoid plunger here, when you have no power on it, I think it's cutting the gas off in the carb. So I think you have to energize that with power to get gas flowing in the carb while the tractor's running. So anyways, I'm going to pull off the blower housing and we'll see if we can get a little more update on the wires from the coil, and if they're going to that ignition module, or if there's something that's shorting it out after the module and the wiring harness somewhere that's causing no spark. And if we can get some spark, maybe we'll start it up, see if we can start it up or not, you know. And I think the transmission's good and everything. It's got a nice looking mower deck. It's got an electric PTO, which some moron took the switch out of the dash for. And another thing that concerns me is typical John Deere style. I don't think you can see it from here, but maybe you can. But there's a circuit board on the back of the key switch. So what the hell do they need a circuit board on the key switch for? Well, anyways, it's about this big. They call it an ignition control module, and that costs $110. So nothing's cheap on this thing at all. And I don't know, being that it has the solenoid built on the starter, I think that ignition control switch has to do with safety features that would normally go through your solenoid circuit, like the clutch pedal switch and all those kind of safeties. So maybe they've made a circuit to do that electronically instead of old-fashioned hard wiring. So I guess if I get it to run, I could always rip that damn thing out and just put a freaking index switch in there and an old school solenoid and screw all this electronic crap. But that's about it. Alright, so I got the blower housing off and I unhooked the factory wire that goes to the module, and I just made a little wire to go from the coil right down here to the module. And I got my spark tester hooked up. This way I'm eliminating all of the wiring and the tractor as a possible culprit here. So let's see if we have any spark now. Yeah, we do. We got some spark. That's awesome. So I'm wondering what would happen if I put a little ether in the carb. If I can get a pop out of it. Let me get some ether and we'll give it a shot. So I'm put some ether in the carb. I'm going to see if I can get it to pop. Let's see. Oh yeah, yeah, it will run. It'll run. It's going to run, guys. It's going to run. So yeah, that's very promising. Thing was on like full throttle, so I just backed up the throttle a hair, and I got to figure out how to test that fuel solenoid really. Let me give another squirt of ether. This time I got the motor down in idle. Let's see what happens. Yeah, it's gonna run. It's gonna run good. We just got to get that wiring figured out. So I don't even know where to start on this wiring. There's so much wiring here. It's pretty overwhelming, to be honest with you. I think I'm going to have to trace every single thing. I mean, it's like a bowl of spaghetti up here. Look at all that crap. Isn't that crazy? It's absolutely crazy. So I think that, you know, I'm probably going to trace all that crap back. I don't know what the best way of doing it is, but I'll probably use a continuity tester and just kind of dick around with it for a while. But maybe if I find out how the solenoid works, I think I can just hook it up to a hot wire from the battery temporarily here, and maybe I can you know, get it to run if fuel is going to come into the carb, you know, which would be good. So anyways, stay tuned.